to Movie Scouts 007's Keyboard or Road Warrior series, where we play Euro Truck Simulator 2 on a laptop, a low-end laptop, and its keyboard. So, at the end of the last journey, we ranked up. We made it to level 20, which means we have a skill point to look at, to apply, and some upgrades to look at. So, let's do that skill point first. So I think we're going to go with eco driving, which rank 3 gives us a total of 20% fuel saving. So every little bit of fuel that we can save means that I've got less chance of screwing up when I miss a garage. So let's look at the new upgrades. So paint job, a bunch of exhausts, nothing terribly exciting, and also a bull bar. Yeah, nothing exciting there for me, but it, never know, these exhausts or these bull bars or this paint job might be something that appeals to you. Actually, when we get to repair the truck, what I'll do is I'll look at a couple of the paint jobs for you so you can see what they look like on the Volvo. So we've got £149,941, which means that we are close to we're close to having enough money for a new garage. But do we actually need to get a new driver first? Let's look at our garage. Yes, we need to upgrade Berlin. So £80,000 needs to go on Berlin. And let's do that. Let's do that now. We're upgrading Berlin, and then so we need another 20,000, I think, in order to afford a fourth driver in Berlin. So that's our next target, is to get enough money for a fourth driver in Berlin. And this is our Berlin garage. It's an expansion with 5 garage slots, and those, I guess, are offices of some description or other. And this is the second of our Empire's garages. When we're in Berlin, you saw the little petrol logo, which should just make... No, it's just out of shot. Obviously now we've got 2 garages where we get a discount on fuel, Berlin and Liverpool, but the fact is you probably rarely go back to a city that you've got a large garage in unless there's nowhere else to go. So we've done that. That's left us with 69,000. So, crikey, just 12,000, and we've got our next truck. So, let us go and repair and recuperate, because we do have some damage. Actually, let's quickly look at the map a second and see where our... Oh, actually, yes, of course, we're in Stockholm, so we've got a couple of discoverables to look for. So we're going to head left and then left and then left and get the discoverables, and that should lead us to the garage. Alrighty. So we need a sharp left. Oh, parking brake. So we've had a couple of bad journeys. We've had a couple of instances of through lack of attention or driving too fast. We've had some pretty bad crashes in the last 2 journeys. So nearly had another crash there. So left, and then another left in a second, and then oops, sorry, left round this way. Ooh. Saw that car coming. So let's see what dealership we get. I wonder if I think I need to go into the settings and change the brake sensitivity, and I need it to be a bit more, because I know it's a bit urgent when we are at junctions. But I'd rather it were a little urgent at junctions, and that we get... So I've got to turn... Whoa. Far too wide. So that's our recruitment agency. And then we'll pull a loop. And we'll go and get the dealership. And there it is. And it's man. That's fine. Alright, so let's repair. £270. Well, obviously, considering that we crashed and repaired, we spent a lot of money already on repairs, so you know. So let's go to the paint shop and show you those. Let's show you the custom paint jobs that we've already got, that we've already discovered. So there's that one, that one. It's a bit boring. That one's a bit boring. That one's a bit boring. That's a bit more exciting. Then we got that one. These are all starting to look. These two look a bit like they're tattoo inspired. And then the one which we just got, which is that one, which is really dull. I mean, if I was going to change the truck based on the presets, I would change the colours maybe, because you can actually change the colours to whatever you want. So let's show you. You can watch the stripes. So you can see the stripe changing red, and it's purple, and then it's green, and it's yellow, and sort of brown, and then red, and then obviously it goes into the there. So that's the rainbow, and then within the rainbow you can move the colour around so you can get the right shade. So you can say, for instance, we wanted to make this purple, so we can change the shade of purple that you get. Actually, let's do it with the black so that you actually see what I'm talking about. So you can see you change so we get that really deep sort of burgundy red there, black red, and then we got more sort of I think that's more a bluey red, and then you're going into the pinks, which we never want to do, and then white. So you've got black at this corner, white at this corner, you've got bright red at this corner, and dark red at this corner. So the white and the black will always be in these corners, and then you've got this stuff in the middle. So I don't think you can get pink. I think from this, to get pink, you've got to go somewhere around here. And can we get pink? See, there's your revolting pinks. There you go. There's your baby pink. There's your bright pink. That's the sort of pink that you see in Hollywood movies, and women that have got an obsession with the colour. But we don't want any of that. We don't want. Yes, we want to cancel those truck modifications, because we certainly don't want to paint the truck. What we do want to do is we want to get some rest and recuperation now that we've repaired the truck. There is a slim chance, that we might have enough money after the sleep cycle. There's a slim chance that we might have enough money to get that truck. And of course it's raining, but it is 10 in the morning. See, we've got 102. I'm going to turn the volume down for the rain. We've got £102,000, so it is time to get ourselves a new truck and a new driver. This is the way you do it, guys. This is the way you do it. So Berlin, we want Volvo. So it doesn't really matter, but you do want a big one. You don't want a small dealer. You want which is the silver one. You want the golden dealer. So Luxembourg. Obviously, we've bought more than 5 trucks, so we're entitled to go to that dealer. Right, at the moment it's 81,576, but we're going to customize that to get rid of the unnecessarily large engine. Boom, and we're in. £80,184, and we're going to stick it in Berlin. So you can see the size of the garage has increased. Now, it will never be as big as the garage in Liverpool because that's your home base, and it's surrounded by the little sort of gear symbol. So we're going to stick that in there. Right, now we are going to go to escape from that. We're going to go to recruitment manager. We're going to pick up a driver. So let's hire a driver. And who do we want? Who looks good to us? We don't have a 2.5. That 2.5 is gone. So, nice spread. Katie's got a nice spread of skills. She's got 1 ADR, she's got 1 high value, and she's got a fragile. So that's looking good. Brandon. Brandon looks like the winner so far. Oh, he's a point, isn't it? 0.8. But he does have ADR, he does have our value, he does have fragile, and he's got just... No, let's go with... oh, she's a 0.8 as well. Now let's go with Brandon. Brandon is going to Berlin to be driver number 4 in our little trucking empire. Right, so we're down to £20,640. Fear not, it won't take us long to get up to 80,000. That will be enough to get us our 5th lorry, and then we're aiming for 144,000. All the while, we're aiming for good journeys and interesting drives and interesting cargoes. So, I mean, that's the real meat of this game. Right, so let's get ourselves, speaking of interesting cargoes and interesting journeys, let's get ourselves a journey. Let's get ourselves a load. So we're in Stockholm. Swansea. Have we been to Swansea? We've not been to Swansea, but it means going back to Britain, and I seem to have problems every time I go back to Britain. Dortmund. Have we been to Dortmund? Yes, we've been to Dortmund. Frankfurt. Yes, we've been there. Lots. We haven't been... Yeah. Let's go to Swansea. Stuff it. It'll be a long journey. It'll be essentially a virtual mirror of what we did before. And going back across the UK. So we'll set the destination, and then I'll go back in and get my screen grab of that so that I can create my little montage. And typically the locations don't fit into the to the map. I think that's the best I'm going to be able to get, frankly. All right, let's go pick up our cargo. So engine on, wipers on. Let's go. Oh, we're all. See now, all of that. Oh, crikey! That's not me. That's me not concentrating. All of that information that you can see below the driver's names is the income that we earned while asleep, and that will happen for quite a while. Whoa! We are not getting fined for those red traffic lights. I'm wondering if I haven't got a mod conflict somewhere, because I should be getting a fine for that. I might blow through a red light deliberately just to see if... I'm not going to do it here because... Oh, hang on. Yeah, I've just blown through another red light and I didn't get fined. I am confused. Alright, now we're good. That means there's a conflict somewhere. Something that I've got installed is causing problems with the vanilla game, and I'll have to find out what that is. That's going to be laborious. That's not going to be fun. Mod hunting is not going to... I suppose the easiest way of working it out is to find out what was the last thing that I installed and take that out and then try that. We've got a left coming up here. wrong side of the road. I know this is not the day that you're watching this, but we are on video. This is video 42, I think. So today is actually the 3rd of February when I record this. Oh, hang on, no, idiot! I've got to actually accept the job before I drive through. Too busy worrying about dates and times. So today, while recording this is actually the 3rd of February, but when it goes up online, it will be the 18th. No, sorry, the 19th of March. But here, back in time, on the 3rd of February, the Super Bowl is happening while I'm playing this. Now, I'm not a massive American football fan. I'm actually. If I didn't have to do, makes it sound awful. It makes it sound like I'm not enjoying this. But if I didn't have, if I hadn't set myself a schedule for producing these videos, I would definitely be watching the second half of the Super Bowl right now. It's actually been quite fun. I've got a sister-in-law who's in Seattle at the moment. She's doing an internship at Microsoft. And Seattle are currently playing the Denver Broncos in what I think is Super Bowl 48. And as a result, my stepsister... Oh God, she's not a stepsister. As a result of my sister-in-law being in Seattle, I'm rooting for the Seahawks. Now, I did like American football quite a bit when I was a teenager because it was a brand new thing. When I was 14, 15, they started showing American... Oh God, that will get annoying. They started showing American football... Oh, I'm in the wrong lane. Typical. They started showing American football on telly, and it was Channel 4's brand new channel in '84, wanted something that was unique and interesting, and so they decided to go with American football, and the person they chose to front it was an English former footballer who'd gone over to America. Was he a rugby player? Might have been a rugby player. Who'd gone over to America to be a kicker. And I think he actually might have been a kicker for the Seahawks. He was a particularly dreadful host. He wasn't very good at it, and they very quickly replaced him with someone else. But the team that... I'm sorry, I'm snatching a moment to have a cup of coffee. Have a sip of coffee. The team that were winning everything in '84 were the San Francisco 49ers. So that's the team that I kind of emotionally attached myself to. Because as a teenager, when if you don't follow a team that you're from the hometown, then you follow a successful team. That's the way teenage brains work. That's the way children's brains work. So I chose the 49ers, who have followed Liverpool in that pattern of being very good when I was a teenager and being absolutely awful ever since. In fact, they've started a little bit of a resurgence in that they made it to the last four in this year's NFL competition. But they didn't win what's called the divisional championship. So I can't remember whether they're AFC or NFC. No. Oh, shiz. How the hell did I get away with that? Okay, that was bad. They've been pretty mediocre. I mean, they have their moments, but when I was following them, they had a couple of good players. I think Jerry Rice and Joe Montana, and then they had Steve Young, but they haven't really been very brilliant. They've sort of been there or thereabouts. No, not there or thereabouts. That means something completely different. they've been okay. They've not. I don't think they've ever got the wooden spoon. And by wooden spoon I mean finish bottom at the end of the season. And in American football, they don't. In fact, in American sports, they don't have a system of promotion and relegation like you do in, say, football, real football, not American football. They don't have this system of relegation. The teams in the top division, whether they do badly or well, that's kind of helped by the fact that they also have a draft system. And I don't like this business of not having a threat if you don't win, because you lose any sense of urgency and desperation if you realise that you're not playing for anything. You kind of stop playing emotionally, whether you mean to or not. Whereas if you're fighting to stay in a division, it adds a sense of urgency and a sense of desperation, and a sense of it can add a sense of camaraderie. The team it can go on in two ways. Either they can implode, or they can draw together and become a unit. But so I don't like that. But I do like this business of the draft system. Now it depends entirely on having the college recruitment system. Without the college recruitment system, the draft system simply doesn't work. Also, it only really works in a closed environment, which American football is. American football is a very closed environment. It's one nation, the United States, with the exception of one team. Have they got a team in Canada? Actually, I don't even think they've got a team in Canada. So it's very easy to contain the top players because they're all trying to get into the same small group of teams, and so it's very easy then to sort of dole out the players, and then the players are judged based on their performance in their college, their university football team, American football team, and then they're assigned a rank, and then the best players in college are doled out. The best ones go to the worst teams, and so on and so forth, until the players have been doled out. And so that's why you get this kind of cyclical performance of teams. So a team that's dreadful will start to emerge, and a team that has been imperious will start to disappear. Now, money does help. Players, after a certain period in their contract, can become free agents, which means that they can then negotiate a fee for themselves to go and play for another team. But for the most part, the teams want to get a draft. They want to get a good draft, unless a particularly good player is playing at a particularly bad team, and then that good team can give up a number of its drafts to the lesser team in exchange for a huge fee and the player. Now, the league structure works differently in American football than it does in the European and South American model of football, in that the league owns the teams and their franchises. They hold the right to the name. So this is why, for instance, the Rams were able to go from St. Louis to LA. They still remain the Lambs as a loan instalment. Hang on, let's go to the bank. See how close we are to getting rid of that. Only 10 more loan instalments, and then we've got that monkey off our back. And probably £4,000 to £8,000 a journey remains in our coffers, and we're doing really well. We're building up our little business. Oh, speeding offence. That's what I thought had happened to me. I thought that little ka-chink of the cash register was a speeding offence, and it wasn't. It was the loan instalment, but it should have been a little warning to say slow down, because you're about to get fined. Excuse me. Yes, so the league structure, they're divided into north, south, east, and west, and they're divided into two conferences. So the National Football League and the American Football League, and then AFC and then FC. So the American Football Conference and the National Football Conference. So the conferences then have 4 divisions: north, south, east, and west. Those teams play against random. They play a set number of games against conference teams. So they might not necessarily play against a team in their own division, but they all play the same number of games. And then the winners of the divisions, and I think the top two teams of each division, and then a couple of wild cards play each other in the playoffs, and the playoffs determine who will play in the conference for what they call the champion. I think it's the conference championship or the divisional. I don't know. But the winners of each conference, the second team from each conference, and then I think a couple of wild cards play each other, and then the winner of all of that gets to go to the Super Bowl and play the winner of the other conference. This year it's the Seattle Seahawks, as I've already said, and they're playing the Denver Broncos. And right now it's halftime. The Americans, the Super Bowl has a couple of non-football related traditions that have grown exponentially recently. The halftime show is one of them. They put some stage onto the centre of the pitch. They have a massive concert with lights, and this year the halftime show is Bruno Mars with special guests, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Now I find that a little bit amusing because I would have thought the Red Hot Chili Peppers were a much bigger act, but yeah, what do I know? The other tradition is the Super Bowl advert. The Super Bowl, getting an advert in the break. In the advert breaks during the Super Bowl is the most expensive advertising real estate in the world. It costs more to advertise during the Super Bowl than it does at any other time. Not the Olympics don't beat it, nothing beats it. Because it's one market, 300 million people. It's even people that don't like American football in America tend to sit down and watch the Super Bowl. The thing that most bugs me about the Super Bowl is that the guys will strut around after having won the Super Bowl and call themselves world champions. Don't mean to be funny. I really don't mean to be funny, but I'm afraid if you are playing in a league and no other nation plays in that league, you can't call yourself world champions. I'm pretty sure that they have American football in other nations. Now, it might not be to the same standard, but the fact remains that you didn't play those teams, and so you cannot call yourself world champions. I have the same problem with the baseball players that call themselves world champions. You're not a world champion. Just because you play in probably the highest performing version of that league doesn't mean that's it. You haven't played anyone else in any other leagues in the world, and so you cannot call yourself world champions. And if I had the money, I'd be half tempted to sue every player and every team that described itself as world champions in one of these sports. And it's only the Americans that do it. It's the supreme arrogance, I think, that angers me most of all, that they assume, it might be correctly, but they assume that they would win. Well, that's fine, you possibly would, but the fact is you haven't played the games, so you cannot call yourself world champions if you've not played teams from other nations. So I do wish they would stop doing it. They're not world champions. It does make me a bit angry. Yes, it's a half-time show at the moment. At the moment, it's I can see the chili peppers are on. I've got it on silence, sort of to my right, so I can see what's going on, because I'm kind of rooting for the Seahawks. I kind of want them to, because I'm not 100% certain, but I don't think they've ever played in a Super Bowl, much less won it, and they're doing quite well. The last time I looked, they were 22 points to nil. That's 2 touchdowns, which is the American football equivalent of a rugby try. I don't know whether they got their conversions, their kicks. I guess they did, and they've also had 2 penalties. So, or do they get to kick afterwards? I'm not sure. No, I don't think they do. I don't think they get to kick afterwards. I don't think you get the extra points. It's not like rugby. In American football, just like in rugby, you had to get the ball across the line in order to get to kick the ball through the goals, and then you earned the points. But I think they changed that, because Americans, well, the rugby people did it as well. They want a nice big scoreline, and it's a bit boring. This is one of the reasons why they changed this. The basketball, they had a thing called the shot clock, because what they were finding is that a team would get an early score, get a lead, and then they would just hang on to the ball interminably, just passing it with one another, and it wasn't very interesting. So they introduced a thing called a shot clock, which meant that when you get the ball, when you've passed the ball, a timer starts, and it restarts every time the ball. Once you've scored a basket's been scored, they start a timer, and the timer counts down. I can't remember whether it's 2 minutes or 3 minutes. It's a certain length of time that you have got. When you receive the ball, having been scored upon, you have got to then attempt to score yourself. And it led from very incredibly low-scoring, quite dull games to incredibly frenetic, very high-scoring games. So it's not unusual for a basketball game for the score to be in triple figures. In fact, it's more than likely to be in triple figures. And if not triple figures, in the 80s and 90s. Because as soon as you get the ball, you've got to quickly try and score. And that's the way basketball, and I think that's why it's actually quite exciting. I nearly had an accident there, and I've got a turn. I'm turning here. There are problems with American football. The National Football League, which is the governing body of American football in the United States. I've ground myself against. Oops. I ground myself against the flipping barriers. That's not good. These tight off ramps and on ramps are a bit of a challenge, particularly for the longer loads. And this is a reasonably long load. So the governing body of American football, the NFL, recently paid out quite a large amount of money in compensation, and has admitted that it was not being forthright about the danger from head injuries to professional footballers, professional American footballers. And actually there's been quite a hoo-ha about it in the last couple of years, because a lot of American footballers, it's a very macho sport and you don't want to admit anything's wrong, but there's a lot of American footballers can't remember a great deal about their daily life. They've lost a lot of their short-term memory because of the impacts, the head injury from the impacts, the violent impacts. Even though their heads are encased in fantastically advanced helmets, the fact is that every time that your brain, your body comes to a sudden halt, your brain moves around inside your skull, and your skull has got ridges, and it's not perfectly smooth on the inside, and so and even if it were, your brain would still be bumping into your skull, and this is not a good thing. It's not good for your brain. So they've interviewed a whole bunch of top former American football players who are now suffering the terrible after effects of these horrifying impacts, and a lot of them cannot remember a question. A lot of them, they're asked a question and they forget what the question was halfway through answering it. A lot of them commit suicide. One of them actually was incredibly poignant. He shot himself and left a suicide note that said that it was the concussion from sport, the terrible toll he paid for this sport, was the reason that he shot himself, because he couldn't bear what his life had become, that he'd become dependent upon other people for everything, because he would do things like start cooking a meal and forget about it halfway through, and they almost set his house on fire, or he would start smoking a cigarette and forget he was smoking it, and then it would, he's looking at a ton of ash or a potential fire hazard. He would be driving somewhere and forget where he was going. It's a terrible toll to be paid by these poor guys, and not one I would like to see. Now, I watch rugby, and I think rugby looks significantly more violent, but the fact is they don't have all of the body protection and the head protection, and so they're not tempted, and in fact forced to make the kind of tackles and use their body in a way that American footballers are, and so they suffer far fewer head injuries because they're not using their head as a weapon, whereas American footballers are using their heads as weapons. And I know that the helmet was introduced to protect the head, but it's actually possibly contributing more to the problem. If American footballers weren't wearing as much padding and they weren't wearing this headgear, then they almost certainly wouldn't be tempted to perform some of the outrageous manoeuvres that they do, which ultimately result in the terrible concussions that they get. Ooh. This is a very slow queue of traffic, which we're going to cheat our way by, and we're going to hope that we don't see a speed camera while we're doing it. Okay, now we've got to slow down because the road narrows, I think. Oh no, it widens. I didn't need to slow down. I could have been going the same speed, and I've just been overtaken by two of the cars that I overtook. So, as I said, I'm kind of rooting for the Seahawks. So, whoa. That's quite dangerous, and this is where I've had a couple of my accidents. At least one of my accidents was because I wasn't looking far enough ahead and seeing the road narrowing, and seeing the accident as I sped towards the scene of it. We're back up to normal speeds, to motorway speeds. So we are still probably, I think we're probably heading towards Denmark, possibly towards Esbjerg, and then possibly for a ferry to Harwich or Hull maybe, and then off to Wales, to Swansea. I do get confused as to where I have and haven't visited, because I have got two ongoing profiles, one's just for me and one that is for you guys, and I'm actually at the moment playing significantly more of this profile than I am of my personal profile, so I'm actually catching up with the YouTube profile's catching up with the personal profile. Now the personal profile will be the one that I drive with the steering wheel when I get back to the UK, but I will start a brand new YouTube profile once I've got the nice computer, once I've got the flash new computer, up and running. And that will be with the steering wheel, with the track IR, with the top-notch graphics, with my play seat in front of my lovely big 50-inch plasma TV, recording it all on one of those beautiful external game capture devices. I think I'm going to go with with the AVerMedia. It's essentially a box with the game capture software tied into the machine, and then you just drop in your own hard drive, and then I can pop a 3 or 4 terabyte drive in, and I can record hours of footage all in one go without stopping, which will be absolutely awesome. And given that I'll be driving with a steering wheel, and I'll be in a much more comfortable seat, and I won't be squinting at a tiny laptop screen, I'll probably be able to do a lot more in one go. Obviously I will edit the individual journeys out, so I will but I'll be able to commentate just as I am with these. I'm commentating into the microphone of the iPhone. You can actually plug a microphone and headset into the AVerMedia box and record your commentary directly as you're onto the game footage as you are recording it, which would be my choice. I don't want to be dealing with after game commentary, because I want to be doing the commentary at the same time as the driving. I don't want to have to then spend another 40 minutes commentating over a journey I've already done, forgetting what's happening and not being able to react to it because I can't see what's I can't remember what I did. So that would be my choice. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And as I speak, the Super Bowl is about to restart the second half. I don't know how they do all of that sort of halftime stuff without damaging the field. It has to do some damage. I don't know how they get it on and off so quickly. It's a real feat. I've got to be honest. It's a real technical feat that they've managed. Yeah, and it's still, as I thought, it's still 22-0 to the Seahawks. If they manage to hold on to this will be fantastic. I like it when someone new wins something. I hate Chelsea Football Club with a passion you can't even begin to imagine, but it was another English football club winning the European Cup when they won it a couple of years ago, just expressing the dominance of English teams in European football. Which is why we have, when it comes to qualifying for the Champions League, of the 4 teams that can go forward, 3 of them get an automatic slot, which didn't used to be the case. It used to be 2, and then before that it was 1. So we've got to turn off. Are we going to turn off? No, not turning off. Used to be you get 1 team was automatic and 1 team. So originally you had to win the league to go to play. Then they added 2 teams. We had 1 played automatically, 1 played a playoff. Then we got 3 teams, 2 automatic, 1 playoff. Then 4 teams, 2 automatic, 2 playoff. And now it's 4 teams, 3 automatic, 1 playoff. And so they keep on the Super Bowl. They keep cutting to the quarterback for the Denver Broncos, a guy called Peyton Manning. He's very good. Apparently, he's very good. He's a legend in American football, but he's hardly been on the pitch because he is part of the offensive team, and they're having their butts handed to them by the Seattle's defensive team, or sorry, as the Americans would prefer you pronounce it, defense. And so the poor fellow looks forlorn. I mean, he's been the architect of his own downfall in one instance, in that he passed it to, in attempting to pass it to one of his teammates, he handed it straight to the Seahawks. One of their guys leapt up and caught it. £151. It is really expensive to take a... Oh, it's because it's this bridge. That would make sense. This bridge between Sweden, I think, and Denmark is a massive bridge. I mean, it's much longer in real life than it is in the game, and it's an amazing achievement. I'm deeply impressed. I have to say, I'd like to be able to see them do something like this between the North Island and the South Island in New Zealand. I think it needs it. At the moment, there's only two ways of getting across. You either fly from the North Island to the South Island, or you take the ferry. And it's actually cheaper to fly than it is to take the ferry. The ferry is something ridiculous, like $200 New Zealand dollars, whereas it's $40 to... This is the daft thing. You have to drive to the tip of the North Island, somewhere near Blenheim or Seddon or something. Then you get the ferry. Then you have to drive. That takes you to Wellington, and then you drive from Wellington to wherever it is you're going. For considerably less money, you can fly from Auckland, from the top of the country to the bottom of the country, in a fraction of the time. So, I mean, it takes probably a day and a half to 2 days to drive from the top of the North Island to the bottom of the North Island. Then it takes probably another 10 to 12 hours to drive. Yeah, it probably takes I'd say 2 to 3 days to drive, plus you're spending half a day on the ferry, because it goes so slowly. Whereas you can take an hour, half-hour flight from the top of the North Island to Auckland. You can take an international flight to somewhere like Christchurch, and then you can take a domestic flight to somewhere like Dunedin or Invercargill. And so the half-an-hour flight to Auckland, it's an hour from Auckland to Christchurch. Let's name that, it's probably about 45 to 50 minutes. And then a half-an-hour flight from Christchurch to Dunedin or Invercargill. So in half a day you can fly from the top of the country to the bottom of the country, whereas it would take you 3 days to drive it, and it costs you so much more. I mean, probably talking about $400 in petrol as well. So you're probably close to $1,000 in fuel, as opposed to maybe $100 for an aeroplane ticket. I don't know about you, but I would. And Seattle have scored another 7 points. They've scored another touchdown because it's 29-0. I don't know if there's ever been a shutout in the Super Bowl before, but the way that Denver are playing, this looks like it's heading for a Seattle shutout. Alright, I kind of emergency have to find somewhere to park, and I don't think there is a parking slot. I should have done it at the... Oh, hang on, is there one at the toll booth? Yes, there is. I might see if I can make it to the toll booth. I don't think I can, though, because I think the camera's going to run out of memory space any minute now. So I will, if I suddenly appear in a slightly different place, it's because I've run out of memory, and I've had to just pull over to the side of the road. So as you might have guessed, I ran out of battery. I had not battery memory on my phone, so I've pulled over. So you haven't missed anything. So while I was downloading the footage, I had a quick look at the schedule, and I actually realised I'm actually recording. Yeah, I know. I'm recording video number 43. So the video that you're watching now will actually make its appearance on YouTube on the 21st of March, not the 18th, as I previously said. So we are going to try. No. That's no good to me. I've got to wait for this guy. No, that's okay. We want to be on the right hand side so that we can swoop quite quickly. Wow. 120. Oh no. Oh no. I'm going to run into someone, I can feel it. But I have to go backwards. There we go. We're alright. I have to go in here to get to sleep. Ooh. Flying. No, it's not going to happen. This is a nightmare. Because this is not fun. I don't know if they put this in to make it more challenging. Then they're assholes. This is not fun. What? Right, I am not having fun now. That is a lot of money that's been spent needlessly. And I've now got to wiggle the damn thing into a parking space, which is not fun. And I can't see what I'm doing, which is also not fun. And I think I've overcooked it, maybe. I said, come on. See, there's, what the hell? Yeah. Oh, I'm facing, how on earth have I managed to be facing in the other direction? Okay. Oh, for crying out loud, really? After all that, and I'm facing in the wrong flipping direction. Oh, I'm so fed up. Come on. And now I've damaged my load. Yes, I want to sleep. I just can't. It won't give me the... Come on. No, not that direction. Ugh. So this is probably more entertaining for you guys. Me getting frustrated and shouty at this stupid game, not letting me get rest. Let me rest, you stupid game. Oh, no, no, no. Thank you. I don't want the radio. Oh, and in a stunning turn of events, it's raining. What a surprise. Oh well, no more excellent. We're aiming, oh, and we've not got our wipers on, we're aiming at a good work at best. I'm not enjoying this game at the moment, I've got to be honest. I might have to take a break from it, because I'm getting frustrated every time I play it now. And that's not fun. It might be entertaining and fun for you, but it's not fun for me, and if I don't take a break from this game, I'm going to end up hating it. Well, I normally film 2 a day, but I'd rather eat my own flesh than... to be honest, I want this journey to be done now. I'm fed up with the stupidity of things like the parking areas. You should be able to just pull up wherever and go to sleep, which is what you do in real trucks. Having designated parking areas is fun, but it's slightly unrealistic. You shouldn't, I mean, there should be limitations. I shouldn't just be able to pull up in the middle of this road and fall asleep without repercussions, but I should be able to just pull up the side of the road and fall asleep. I shouldn't have to wait for a designated one. I'm just frustrated. I don't know why. I hate driving at night. I hate driving in the rain, and all I seem to be doing at the moment is spending time driving at night and driving in the rain, which is not interesting and just a tiny bit tedious, because you can't see a great deal. And so now, because I'm frustrated about having done damage to the load, all the things that mildly irritate me are now making me angry. This isn't even a big crash either, it's just, what, 3 or 4% damage to the tractor and 2% to the trailer, but it's 2% to the trailer when it should be 0. It should be 0. So I've got 26 hours left of this journey. A good chunk of that is going to be sleeping on the ferry, which is fine. I was kind of hoping I could get away with not having to sleep, but as you can see, I've got this whole chunk here, and no, that needed to be. I needed to be rested. I was getting a lot of yawns. I was running out of time. So we've hit the ferry, and then that's probably 12 hours, 14 hours. So that'll leave us with 14 hours, approximately 14 hours when we get off the ferry. Of driving, which is probably another half an hour of real time. And I've got to somehow manage to calm myself down and not get frustrated by my own bad driving and the game's stupidity. But I probably spent close to £1,000, and no, probably more than £1,000 in fines. And what I should have done is just tried to run all the way to the ferry port and just taken a couple of £80 fines, and I would have been better off. Less frustrated, and I would have got there undamaged. See, I don't like going across this beautiful bridge in the night. It's a beautiful bridge and you cannot see it. It becomes a grey silhouette, which isn't actually, that's wrong. It should be a dark silhouette against a slightly pale background, and there should be lights all over it to illuminate it, because these beautiful bridges get illuminated because the people who made them and people who run them are proud of them because they're very pretty. And why wouldn't you? But I guess that's the sort of thing that you can't do unless you've got the native tools. And I guess ProMods don't have the native tools because SCS have created their own Blender tools to make the world. See, if you remember, I was traveling probably 20 journeys ago when I was traveling from Kristiansand to Sheffield, I think it was, and I was dragging ore, and I had a particularly mobile. Oh, I've missed an exit. I've missed an exit. Damn it. I'm going to have to go through Colding. I'm going to have to go through Colding to get back. That's alright, we'll take the exit. We'll take the exit and we'll get back via Colding. Well, it won't be via Colding, it'll be... Oh no, I can't. It's not letting me. Why is it not letting me? Okay, I'll have to go this way then. I'll have to get off that next slip road and drive through Colding. That's fine. Oh, do you know why? Because I was on the wrong side. I'm looking on the wrong side of the road, like a moron. What a tool. Take the next left. And we'll follow the road. Actually, I might have gone the wrong way. Perhaps I should have gone right. Yeah, I think I should have gone right. Okay, so the game has just really gone out. Denver have now kind of lost the game. It's 36-0. So I think it's almost impossible now for... Sorry, yeah, I think it's almost impossible for Denver to recover from this position now. So I think the Super Bowl is Seattle's to lose. There we go. Alright, we're back on track. Yeah. Poor old Denver. Not scored a single point. And that touchdown was their second... Oh, sugar, sorry. Second interception of the game. So, Peyton Manning, an American football legend, has now thrown 2 Super Bowl interceptions. That is not something you want on your permanent record. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. He hasn't had a smile on his face since the whistle to kick off the game. Okay, it's only a tiny detour and it gave us some more percentage of the road. We'd already discovered Colding, so I don't feel at all guilty about driving through Colding. I probably chose the route I chose. Well, no, I did choose the route I chose in order to get a bit of undiscovered road. Obviously, one of the goals is to get 100% on the map discovery. Oh, and it stopped raining, so I can get rid of that noise, which is fine. And let's head to the 36-0. Dear, dear, that's bad. Oh, poor. I feel sorry for Denver. They haven't played particularly badly. It's just that I watched the first half of the game before I started recording this, and from what I understand from the commentators, it seems that Denver had the best offensive team, and Seattle had the best defensive team, and the best defensive team nullified the best offensive team, and then because they've scored half the points scored by more than half the points scored by Seattle have been by the defensive team, not the offensive team. They have picked off 2 interceptions, and they've also elicited a penalty from. So yes, two of the 3 touchdowns, 1 of the 2 field goals. Is that right? I forget now. I wasn't paying close enough attention, clearly. So Seattle look like they've walked it, and if it continues going the way it's going to be a whitewash. I don't know how many times one team in the Super Bowl has beaten another without the defeated team not scoring a single point. But at the end of the first quarter, this was already the worst game that Denver had played all season long, and it's just got worse for them, exponentially. So you have to feel like they must have come into this game feeling really confident, knowing that they were the most successful team, in the most successful offensive team in all year, and then to come out and not score a single point must be soul destroying. I think with the end of every period, it must get more and more difficult to actually pull yourself out of the mire, because you're sat there mulling over. Once the game stopped, you're sat there mulling over what you've done wrong. Whereas during the game, you haven't got time to think about that. So they're in the third quarter. They've had 2 opportunities to sit and mull. They've had 2 opportunities for the head coach to attempt to try and get them back into the right way of thinking. But it doesn't look like it's helped. It looks like that they have. Oh, there's those brightly coloured. Do you remember? Was it a journey or 2 ago? We passed those brightly coloured. I think they're apartment blocks, and there they are again. They are. Whoa. Oh, it is working. It is working. So what was I doing wrong? Okay, that didn't actually really save me any time, and that guy stopped, so I could have gone round him the other way, so I actually made an error right there. Let's turn in, let's get ourselves on the boat. And let's... Oh, have I just gone into a car park? I have, all I've done is gone into a car park. What an idiot. I really have problems with these boats, with these docks. They are... Oh, crap. Is that damage? No. I don't want to do that. What I want to do is get on the boat and be done with this journey, is what I really want. What an idiot. What a terrible, terrible example I'm setting. I would like to think that it's because I'm driving with a keyboard and not with Not with the steering wheel, I'm having these problems, but I think that is too easy an answer, and it's not the truth. Let's get through. Oh no. Oh, what? Okay. Oh, do you know what? I've realised I've sailed past the... I've sailed past that. Right. Esbjerg to Harwich. Okay. And then we're heading to Swansea, so £1,192. Please be daylight. Please be daylight. Please be daylight. No, it's night time. It's 1 AM. Okay. Let's look at the map. Let's see what we're doing. We are probably going around the M25. Yeah, top of the M25, then the M4, and the M4 should take us all the way through Cardiff and Swansea. So we don't go into Cardiff. Right, let's go. Let's get this dreadful journey over with. Let's try and do a journey. It would be really nice, remembering to be on the left hand side of the road, it would be really nice to just get one journey under my bloody belt without crashing into anything. But that seems to be beyond me at the moment. I seem to be magnetically attracted to bad parking and an inability to negotiate docks, and of course I'm in Britain, so everything I do is speeding. Everything I do is speeding. Let's get past this truck. Straight across. Let's not worry about... Oh, damn it. Let's not worry about the speed cameras. Let's just get rid of this load. Let's killer quack it. Let's kamikaze killer quack style. Whoa, 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 whoa. Clearly we're not killer quacking it, because if it was killer quack, he would have pummeled those head on. I am looking to be able to vary the speed that I'm travelling at with the accelerator. The one of the issues with the keyboard is that it's an on and off switch. There's no sort of pressure. You can't sort of feather it without essentially tapping the accelerator. Same with the brake, and actually same with the steering. Instead of angling the steering wheel, you're repeatedly tapping. Oh, Denver have got off the board. They've got 8 points, which means they got a touchdown. So they're in the fourth quarter, though. I think it's too little, too late. And as I'm looking, Seattle have not got a touchdown, but they do have. There's a flag, so they probably haven't got anything actually. So at least Denver have got some points. I mean, it would have been amazing for Seattle to have won their first ever Super Bowl with a whitewash. But it would have been a little unfair to Denver, because they're not that bad a team. I mean, they've made it to the Super Bowl, for crying out loud. So, I suppose that's, I don't know. And there's only 15 minutes of the game. I say there's only 15 minutes of the game. That will probably take half an hour to play. For every minute they play, they seem to be stood around doing nothing. It's literally a 60-minute game. game is a 3-hour experience, including the breaks between the quarters and the half-time show. It's quite a show. And of course we're speeding, but as I've already said, stuff it. We're millionaires. No, well, not. We've only got 27,000, but you know what I mean. We're actually making quite a reasonable amount of money that I'm not. And normally I would care, but I just want this journey to be over with. So it's pedal to the metal time. It's. I just wish I had Bandit with me, and we could play some country music too, some fast-paced country music. Ooh, actually, no, I'm alright for petrol. I will pick up some petrol when we next see. Yeah, I got about half a tank. I'll pick some petrol up when we next see a stop. Ooh dear, it looks like a Denver player is badly injured, which is never a good thing. You don't mind being injured if you win, but if you lose, the last thing you want is to be injured and a loser. Because they never let you forget the loser part, and you paid the price. Right, so we're going to go straight ahead. We are turning off, but we're not turning off on the slip road. We're turning off by going straight ahead and following the road around. That's my dolphin noise. I went to a place called Akaroa at the weekend. It's in the Banks Peninsula. The Banks Peninsula is this circular form of volcano which has become a peninsula. If you know anything about New Zealand geology, you'll know that New Zealand sits smack on a fault line. And periodically in the development of the planet, the fault line split and spewed out molten lava which grew up and up and up until it broke the surface of the sea and then became land. It grew up to quite a height, and then erosion has brought it back down to the level that we see it at today. But this former volcano actually now is a bay, and Akaroa sits in what was a volcano, and it's home to a few species of a few relatively endangered species. One of whom is unique to New Zealand. There's a dolphin. I cannot remember the name of the dolphin. I think it's something like Humboldt's dolphin or something like that. It's the smallest species of dolphin. It also has a small rounded black dorsal fin. It's home to the small blue penguins, and it's home to the New Zealand fur seal, I think it is. Yeah, another speeding offence. I knew that was coming. We have £31,000 though. We're starting to make some money. We are going to have another loan store, unless that's already come out. It might have come out while we were on the boat. I don't know. But we're rocking. I actually neglected to look at how long we had when we got off the boat at London. How long we'd been on the boat. But I will, when I'm editing these two bits of video together, I'll have a quick look. But yeah, it was great fun. We went on a catamaran, a huge catamaran that took us around the bay to the edge of the Pacific, and the guy drove us around the particular areas. There's a place called Elephant Rock, which is this little rocky outcropping where what looks like an elephant's trunk has separated it. Oh, let's get some petrol. We don't strictly need it, but you never know. We might forget. You know what I'm like. Oh, engine off. Let's get some petrol. So sadly for the Denver players, they've scored 8 points, but they don't look like they've just scored. They all look a little bit shell shocked, and yeah, they are having their asses handed to them. And every time that Seattle team do something good, like they've just thrown a massive pass. Sorry, I should concentrate on driving. Engine on. They've just thrown a massive pass for a first down, and the Denver quarterback Peyton Manning just looks so annoyed because his defensive team didn't intercept it. Oh, Peyton, if you hadn't been better. It's a touchdown. They've scored a touchdown. They've got another score, another massive score. It's 42-8. I think Denver have resigned themselves. There's 11 minutes left in this game. They're not going to win it. They can't possibly score 5 touchdowns in that time. They really are. You got to feel sorry for them. They are getting hammered. They're getting properly hammered by Seattle. Seattle look to have got their first Super Bowl win. Okay. So we've got an exit here. Is this? Where is this? Is this to get onto the M25? Yes, it's to get on the M4. Actually, we're getting off the M25 and onto the M. So we're the other side of London now. We've gone around the north of London, the Greater London. Sorry, not London, but Greater London. And we are now on the M4. The M4 is a very important road corridor which goes between London. It ends at Hammersmith in London, which is sort of the edge of West London. And it goes all the way across the south of England in a relatively straight line through places like Slough and Reading, Swindon. It clips the edges of places like Cirencester, Cheltenham. It's right next to Bath, right next to Bristol. It goes across the Severn, which is a big river that cuts between England and Wales. So there's 2 bridges, but the M4 now cuts across the newest of the bridges, the oldest of the bridge. So the M4 changed directions. When they built the new bridge, the M4 moved from the old bridge to the new bridge. And it cuts through Cardiff and it goes through Swansea. I'm not 100% certain where it finishes. It might finish in Newport, but I doubt it. I think it finishes near Swansea. But it's a very important corridor between the capital of Wales and the capital of England, which is also the capital of the United Kingdom that England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales are all part of. Given that we're talking about the Super Bowl and this is an American themed episode, I should explain to American viewers that don't quite understand the difference between the UK, Great Britain, the British Isles, and the England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So there are 4 nations, 5: England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, the Republic Island, then the Republic of Ireland. Those 4 nations form what's called the British Isles. That's not a nationalistic description. That's just that is the name for the 2 the 2 major islands and the hundreds of smaller islands that make up the British Isles. Then you've got. I've already told you what the individual nations are. Then the following make up Great Britain. England, Wales and Scotland form Great Britain. Republic of Ireland is a separate sovereign nation, which became a separate sovereign nation early in the early to mid 20th century. And then, at which time the Northern Ireland was formed, which is where the loyalist Irish people who wanted to remain part of Britain. They're part of the United Kingdom. So the United Kingdom used to include the whole of Ireland, and then when the Republic of Ireland became a separate country, that became a different description. So it used to be the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. It's now the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So the United Kingdom refers to the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Great Britain has been a united nation since James VII of Scotland became James I of Great Britain. And he unified the two countries under the Act of Union. Now, Wales has always been a principality that was under the protection of Westminster. So it hasn't been a sovereign nation for a long time. Now, it does have something called devolution, which I've already described as a colossal waste of money. Scotland had the same thing, and they wasted even more money on it. Scotland has a parliament called Holyrood, which cost 100 times more than it was supposed to, and was such a colossal drain on Scottish resources when it was built, that there were inquiries, major inquiries into how such an appalling set of circumstances to have occurred. Scotland's politics has never been a particularly pleasant thing to watch. The Scottish people are wonderful. I love them. I truly hope that this stupid referendum does not result in a separate Scotland, because I think Scotland will pay a terrible price for separating from England. I don't think England will benefit from it either. Now, I know a lot of Scottish people are saying, "Oh, we want our oil, we want our oil." There is almost no oil in the North Sea, and Scotland only have a section of it. And there's huge chunks of the North Sea that are not part of Scottish territorial waters, they're part of English territorial waters. And so if there were any thoughts about it being a fantastic thing for the Scottish economy because they would be able to benefit from all of the oil, forget about that. They would also lose £3 billion worth of aid that they get every year from Westminster, from London. They would lose the British pound, because I know the Scots are talking about trying to keep the British pound, but that would be untenable. If Scotland's referendum resulted in separation, I would vehemently vote against them sharing our currency. I would also vehemently vote against them gaining the protection of our armed forces. I would remove all UK submarine bases, all Royal Navy submarine bases from Scotland, so the towns and cities that benefited from the income from the sailors based in those ports would be gone overnight. The National Health Service would stop at the Scottish border. They can pay for that themselves. They can pay for their own education. Now, Scotland's £3 billion pays for free prescriptions. It pays for more people get their education paid for in Scotland. It also pays for a number of other things that Scots get for free that we don't in England. I have to pay £7.50 when I'm in the UK. I have to pay £7.50 for every prescription. If I get a lot of drugs under one prescription, I still only pay £7.50, but I have to pay £7.50 every single time I go to a pharmacist with a prescription. That should be free. It's not free because we're supporting a whole number of other... We've also got a government that doesn't want it to be free. They want the National Health Service to be privatised. Every time the current Conservative government have tried 3 times to privatise the health service. The one area of privatisation that the British have resisted again and again and again, to the chagrin of every Tory government that have tried it, and in fact the Labour government that were ideologically, financially in sync with the Tory government under Tony Blair and the idiot Chancellor Gordon Brown. Gordon Brown as a Chancellor was an absolute disaster for this country, for the United Kingdom, for my country of birth, an absolute disaster. He sold half... Oh, hello, another speeding offence. What a surprise. An absolute disaster. He sold half the UK's gold reserve when gold was at its lowest value in such a long time. He did it at the behest of the US government because the US government wants the world financial markets to be based on the US dollar, not on gold. I disagree with the US government. The reason the US government wants the world's economies to be built based on the dollar is it means that other countries have to buy dollars, essentially making the US dollar a world currency gives the American government a blank check to spend whatever they want, because no matter what happens, other nations have to buy US dollars in order to buy other things. To buy oil, for instance. Oil is currently predominantly bought in dollars, and the price is set in dollars. There was a vague conspiracy theory which doesn't have much evidence but does bear the vague ring of authenticity, in that Iraq and a couple of other nations were opening euro accounts to buy oil in euros, which would make to buy and sell, which would mean that the Americans, in order to buy Iraqi oil, would have had to have bought euros in order to buy the oil. And now it's done digitally, so it's not real euros. Right, I can't remember, I don't know how long in actual time we've been talking, but in the time we've been talking, 2 minutes have passed in that American football game, and I think we've been going for like 10-15 minutes. So little American football has actually occurred that in that 15 minutes we've only actually had 2 minutes of game time. This is one of the things that irritates me about American football and baseball, is that they're not fast flowing like basketball is. I quite like American basketball because it is quite flowing and fast, and you've got to get up and down quickly, and you've got to score quite quickly. There's not a lot of stop and start. They do have 4 quarters like they do in every sport, and they primarily have that so they can fit more flipping advertising in. But and in fact, when the World Cup went to the United States in, I think it was 1994, they tried to persuade FIFA to break the game into 4 quarters so they could fit more advertising. Thankfully and sensibly, FIFA said, I don't think so, that's not happening, that's not what we're doing. And so it didn't happen, it didn't occur, they didn't get it through, which is a relief. Because I don't want my game changed at the behest of another nation so that it can fit more telly advertising in. We already make far too many concessions in our sport for broadcasting. Now, I know that's a little bit hypocritical in that I benefit from that broadcasting, in that I'm allowed and able to watch games that I'm unable to attend, yet I still don't want the game to be ruled by television. I want television to be ruled by the game. The sad fact is that sports teams benefit financially by considerably from revenue from television. If we take the English Premier League, football, real football, not American football. If we take that for a second, I think that Liverpool probably earns about 30 to 40 million pounds a year from TV revenue, which they cycle. Obviously, they have to cycle back into the. It is the wealthiest league in football, and by football I mean real football, not American football. It's the wealthiest league in the world. We're starting to actually see the benefit from that, in that actually genuinely good players in their prime are starting to come to England to play. We're still suffering a little. There's still this misconception. The Spanish league and the Italian league are better. Now, in terms of their national side, they are benefiting. There's only 2 massive teams That's Atletico. Sorry, that's Real Madrid and Barcelona, and then maybe Valencia and Atletico Madrid and one other are okay. And in fact, of those teams, Valencia is now suffering tremendously from financial issues, and they've had to, in the last 4 years, they've had to sell their 4 best players. Oh no, I'm on the wrong side of the road. Whoa. That was lucky. They've had to sell their 4 best players. Every year they've had to sell their best player for the last 4 years. You can't sustain high performances in a good foot. Hey, we've discovered Swansea. We're nearly there, guys. You can't keep the team at the top if you keep having to sell your best players. You want to keep hold of your best players and develop the team. That's the way forward. Right, so we're not actually going into Swansea itself to drop this load off. We're probably going to which is relatively realistic. Trucks would a lot of what we call in the UK industrial estates outside towns and city centres where deliveries occur. So big companies, big supermarkets, for instance, that outside big cities or in an area between a bunch of big towns and some city, will have a distribution centre, or they'll have a distribution centre by a motorway, which then feeds all of the towns and cities that border that motorway. Right, so where are we dropping our load? Right there, that's where. And we're not going to miss out. We're gonna be penalised for our crash. So we need those 45 points. So we're not going to automatically park. If you cannot face it, if you're not up to it, if you're spending more time on the parking than you are on the driving, then you can just nudge your truck. See that message box there? You can just hit enter, and the truck and it will park the truck for you. It'll park the load for you. This looks like I might get it in first time, which, given that I've had an otherwise disastrous run, would be a miracle. But I think that's going to be a first time. Yes, we're in first time. Oh my goodness me. That is fantastic. Right, parking brake on, engine off. Let's unhitch the load. Yep, good work, is about what I expected. So, 1,466 kilometres, 44 hours and 20 minutes journey time, 579 litres of fuel consumed, base reward of £26,619 and 1,466 XP, a level 20 proficiency bonus of £7,986, a skill rank 3 long delivery bonus of £3,742 and 366 XP, a skill rank 3 high value cargo bonus of £3,742 and 263 XP, an urgent delivery bonus for skill rank 2 of £1,497 and £2 and 293 XP, a parking bonus of 45 XP, and this is the bad stuff, a damage penalty of 2%, which cost us £274 and it cost us 28 XP. So you can see that parking the truck was worth it. That gives us a total of £43,311 and 2,405 XP. We have taken a huge chunk out of level 20. We are a level 20 master still. We have 45,908 profile career lifetime XP. Level 21 is still 47,700, and we are done with our journey to Swansea. So, with 6 minutes to go, Seattle are 43.8 up, which really dates this video. But that's the end of this video.